I got you. Alright, me, we gonna hold you down. Fuck that nigga. Fuck him. That's how I feel about it, for real. I ain't fuck with him in the beginning. Don't cry, little mama. Fuck him, he gone. Fuck that nigga. Fuck him, he wrong. Left you with them kids and all that debt. For that whack ass bitch with all that dick on her breath. Oh no. Hold up, stop. It's a time for success. Right. Let me twist you something up. You gon' be happy he done left. Gone is the stress, cause y'all shit was a mess. This is just a test, baby. This is for the best. Now's the perfect time for you to go back to school. You need to go and do you, cause he's a fucking fool. Open up your Oprah and start making moves. You've been trying to make since you met this dude. Listen, the time is gonna pass, and maybe one day you'll sit back and laugh. But fuck being mad, and fuck being sad, and fuck that 80-20 nigga with his backwards ass.
Morning, y'all.
Man, fuck him.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? How's everybody doing?
Don't cry, little soldier. This time he gone. This time is real. This time he wrong. But now is the time for you to get real strong. Hard times is on their way. Them shits is real long.
Like my man Yee say, it's callous for arm to palm.
Your hood hit hard. You gotta help your mom. Help your little sister navigate all the bombs and all the other shit that be knocking niggas off. And do not be soft. And do not be weak. And do not get low.
Good morning, what up, what up, what up, what up?
You have an opportunity, become a king. Try to talk it out, but don't never reach.
Black ass bunch. Get your black ass up.
Then develop some richness and some fullness in your life. Develop your life. Then develop a whole new path. So when you grown, that shitty shit he own is gonna pass. I love you, man. For real, I got you. Gonna get you. Come over our house.
Woo! Good morning, good morning, good morning. How y'all doing?
Now don't cry, little angel.
Your daddy done left.
Like the other little angels whose
Daddy's done left.
But you make sure you
Taking care of yourself.
'Cause your mother and your brother, they gon' need your help.
Come on.
So listen to your mother and
Say all your prayers, and
check up on them and make sure
they say it is.
Sit still while she wants to braid your hair. Give her all the kisses you can, let her know that you care.
Be strong and bold and don't ever be scared.
Do anything and you can go anywhere.
Oh, Lord, I done did the wrong thing.
Every year you blossom.
Not a problem, little angel, you are rare. Young black beauty, do he? Doing, do he?
Realize the only life he gon' ruin will be his. Cause the nigga did it all wrong. It might be better that your dumb ass
Daddy done gone. Good morning, y'all.
niggas is still doing this bum ass shit right here. But fuck him, he
I
gone.
forgot to turn the
We
music
good.
up.
You
What up,
made
y'all?
some mistakes, but fuck that. It's all over now. Let's move forward. Bum ass nigga. I'm just saying.
Trust her, that's my song called Pass Away on my album, New Music for Old Niggas, that came out 2 years ago.
We got you, but let's be real. Truth best at this point in time.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. We talking real estate again today. What up, Brett? I owe you a phone call. Vane, how you doing? Good morning, April. What up, Tressa? Yeah, that's on my last album, New Music for Old Niggas. It's from the... Good morning, everybody. We still gonna talk real estate today, right? Right. Is today still real estate day? Huh? Hey, Sherry. Sherry. Please, if you dig what we do over here in the morning time, share this with somebody. Share this live broadcast with somebody and tell them to subscribe. Oh, damn, I got rid of tell them to subscribe to my YouTube page, my YouTube channel. Get your black ass up and Google it, bitch. Anyway, we were having a bomb discussion yesterday about real estate, and I think we need to get back into it. Because I saw something yesterday that affected all of us, and I did not save it. Damn it! Who sent me that? Somebody sent me something yesterday about. Somebody sent me something yesterday about equity firms. Private equity firms. Private equity firms are upsetting the balance of home ownership. Let me say it this way. Let me turn this down. All right. Private equity firms are involved in a lot of businesses. One of them being housing. First of all, let me tell everybody, good morning, get your black ass up. How the fuck is you doing? Even if you ain't black, get your black ass up this morning. If you ain't here, you with us, get your black ass up. That's how black mothers talk to you. Nah, my mother never talked like that. I had a very proper mother who never called me any, she never even said we were black children. My mother never gave into those societal tropes. Can I say that? Is that a word? A societal trope. My mother never gave into those things. My mother spoke very proper. All right, Keith, we're going to get to these private equity firms in a second, but I saw something yesterday that makes me, we're going to include them in our discussion this morning. But first, Keith, let's everybody get in here first and get their black ass up. Oh, I have a headache. That storm came through and I think I have problems with my sinuses and the barometric pressure. You know, the barometric pressure in the atmosphere, the atmospheric pressure, and my motherfucking sinuses in the back of my head be hurting like shit. It's pressure behind my eyes. Anybody else? You know when your grandmother used to say it was about to rain because my knee hurt? I could tell a storm came through last night because my head is like, I'm part African and part Indian, Native American, or whatever you want to call it. Anybody else? At least you too? It ain't too early to be aggressive. Get your ass up, Will Wooten. Let's go. We're going to talk about private equity firms and what they mean. Yeah. Oh, we gonna hear sounding old as hell. Ursula talking about my ankle cranking. Morning, Tasha. Sudafed. Nah, I'm not taking no Sudafed. I don't take no. If I ain't on death's doorstep, I don't take medicine. Let me say it that way. If I'm not on death's doorstep, I'm not taking a thing. I may take a regular strength Tylenol or an ibuprofen. But after that, I'll take some regular strength acetaminophen or ibuprofen, and that's it. Google it, bitch. Anyway, no, we gonna get to these private equity firms. Neti Pot ain't gonna do it either. This don't have it. Ain't. It's not stuffiness. It's straight hurt. Look, black folks said get some ginger ale and some crackers. I don't fuck with Zequil no more. You wasn't on here when I was talking about what happened with me and Zequil? Zequil is a narcotic. I'm convinced. The fuck out of here. Zequil is a narcotic. If you were here yesterday, we were talking about if you were here yesterday, we left off on real estate and talking. We were having a very serious real estate discussion. And then yesterday, someone sent me, and I'm trying to find it. Someone sent me someone sent me a post about, I can't find it, a post about private equity firms. And what they said, what they were talking about in this post were the ways that private equity firms were coming in and disrupting businesses left and right. Basically, private equity firms are big ass pieces of money that go in and buy struggling businesses, turn them profitable, and sell them back. Right? But the way that they do these things are legal, but not necessarily with the customer or with you in mind. And they talked about how private equity firms are affecting housing. Last year, 1 in 7 homes that were purchased, 1 out of 7 homes that were purchased by private equity firms. And those numbers will grow. Now, you remember yesterday I was talking about how kind of like Richard Gere did in Pretty Woman. Except for Richard Gere found some. You remember Richard Gere found some after he. So kind of like Richard Gere in Pretty Woman without getting some pussy from a prostitute and falling in love. Just like Richard Gere in Pretty Woman, private equity firms are buying companies, and he doesn't buy companies and sell off the parts. They don't do that. What they do is they buy a company, they, first cut staff, cut costs. They cut costs in any way that they possibly can to make the business profitable on paper. And then they sell that business usually while it's laden with debt to some unsuspecting sucker somewhere. But they use, now because they're private now, yes, thank you. There was a special on private equity firms buying up homes on 60 Minutes. The report I saw yesterday talked about how they affect housing, and they affect healthcare, and they were going into other things, but I couldn't sit and watch the whole thing. But for our discussion, for this conversation, it was like Richard Gere. Remember Richard Gere in Pretty Woman? If Richard Gere wouldn't have met Julia Roberts and wouldn't have got some of that good Hollywood Boulevard vagina, he would not have, his heart wouldn't have grown like the Grinch. Right, she wasn't a prostitute, she was a lady of the night, a woman of leisure, shall we say. She was in school too, she was a student athlete. Anyway, so private equity firms are buying up houses. 1 out of 7 homes in 2020 were bought by private equity firms, which makes it, which pushes the average buyer out. Not the average buyer, which pushes a lot of buyers out. And we say, well, that happens to other people. However, right here on this broadcast, we have seen time and time and again how people cannot afford or find a home to purchase. Thank you, Joanne. We seen right here on this show, on this Joe Clair podcast, this Joe Clair broadcast, people saying, well, I can't find a house. I have clients who have been looking for homes since last year. You understand? And one of the things that is exacerbating the problem is private equity firms. But that's not the only thing. If these private equity firms are buying up homes, and you are coming in as the low man on the totem pole, meaning you don't have your pieces of paper in together. You haven't done your due diligence. You're not actively participating in, your home buying process or the real estate process. You're not watching it. You just showing up saying, I want to buy a house. You're going to be short. BA, what's good with you? You're going to be short because there are forces at work in our economy right now that have big ass pieces of money from you notice that they just said yesterday that the stock market is going into a bear market. The stock market, Wall Street has been bullish for years, and now the bear market is coming, meaning it's about to be, we about to see some shit level out. And when shit levels out, I brought that point up because now people from Wall Street have big ass pieces of money, billions and billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars. And if you have billions and billions and billions of dollars, you have to put that money to work. Don't think that people who are rich just sit their money in their bank account and leave it there like you and I and go get pieces of it when we need to pay bills and shit like that. No. They so afraid of, getting taxed that they put that money elsewhere and put it to work so they can avoid the tax on it. And the hope is that I can live long enough that I die with all this money and then hand it over to my children tax-free. And they don't have to pay taxes on it. And their children don't have to pay taxes on it. There are mechanisms that our economy, that our system has put in place that allows wealthy people to protect their money tax-free. I say that to say, if that's the case, they don't give a shit about you and I. They care about the bottom line. Which means private equity firms. So let's say I'm a multi-billionaire. I'm going to take my money, take some of that money, pour it into a private equity firm so it can't get taxed because I'm putting the money to work, right? How am I going to put the money to work? I'm a multi-billionaire. What do I buy if I'm a multi-billionaire? A whole bunch of houses. Yeah, Keith. Oh, there are mechanisms put in place to keep you from paying taxes. Anybody remember in 2018, 2017, 18? Oh, that's what's missing. Shit. In 2017, 2018, they came up with, what am I trying to say? They came up with, Donald Trump came up and passed the Opportunity Zone legislation. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember the Opportunity Zone legislation? Huh? Does anybody remember that? Give me a thumbs up if you remember hearing about Opportunity Zone legislation. I'm looking for something. I'm sorry. I'm in the middle of looking for some controls. Please give me a thumbs up if you remember hearing about the Opportunity Zone legislation. Come on. Y'all with me this morning? No? Y'all don't remember Opportunity Zone legislation? In 2017, 2018, maybe 2019. This is why we got to pay attention. All right. In 2017, from 2017 through 2019, Donald Trump's administration passed something called the Opportunity Zone legislation. And what that allowed, it the Census Bureau, they use Census Bureau information to identify low-income tracts of land and communities and counties and cities, and they targeted these opportunity zones to allow investors to set up funds to spend in these opportunity zones and make money back. If you put your money into a fund, so let's say I have $1 billion, right? I was on Wall Street and I made $100 million, right? And Wall Street is and the IRS is ready to tax my $100 million, right? If I have $100 million and I got to pay taxes on it, I got to give them about $30 million. My $100 million is more like $70 million, maybe even $60 million. So if I want to keep that other 40, I take the money and put it into, you take your capital gains off of the money that you made on the stock market and put it into a fund, and that fund invests in opportunity zones. Are y'all with me still? Anybody still with me? Anybody still following me? Is this too much? Am I talking too technical? Do I got to break the shit down into regular ass terms? Who's with me? Give me a thumbs up if you still fucking with me. Jay, you still there? All right. Keith's the only one still here. And this is why when I started going down the rabbit hole, a lot of people ain't listening. A lot of people like, fuck this shit. I came here for the laughs. Well, you know, if we focus on is laughs, we gonna be fucked up. Anyway, so if I made $100 million on the stock market, I could take let's say I started out with 30 million. I made 100 million. I could take that 70, which is capital gains, and before they tax it, I can put it into a fund. Therefore, I'll avoid the taxes on it. Put it into a fund that's going to invest in what they call opportunity zones. Well, guess where the opportunity zones are? The opportunity zones are the hood. Just like we look at an investment property, they looked at investment communities. They looked at investment, the Census Bureau, because we fill out our census data, says who has money and who don't. What communities are hurting and which ones aren't. What communities are still poor enough that you can pour money into them and see a return. Does that make sense? Poor communities need shit all the time. We need shit all the time. Check, you always notice, why is it check cashing places in poor communities, not in rich communities? Because we need an outlet for our little pieces of money. You understand what I'm getting at? So opportunity zones allowed the wealthy to pour in money tax-free. That's the key. Tax-free. Pour in your money tax-free. So I can take my 70 million and before it's taxed, put it in a fund and put it to work. Then, whatever I do with that money, let's say I build an apartment building, or I build a shopping center, or I build some other shit like that, right? I build houses or whatever. If I leave the money there and don't pull it out, I don't get taxed on it. Like the tax on the investment is reduced and then eventually disappears over time. So that $70 million now makes more money. I can turn that 70 million into 700 million in front of your broke ass face by using your broke ass community. I can turn my 70 million into 700 million, and if I leave the money there long enough, it'll never get taxed. Then I write that shit off to my children, and they never pay no taxes on it. And they write that shit off to their children, and they don't pay no motherfucking taxes on it. So, what does that mean for our discussion this morning? It only means that, back to that private equity firm shit that I was talking about at the beginning. Why would private equity firms buy up houses? Because we've reached a point in this country where we have people who are working class, but still right under the ability to purchase that home. It's just right in, I don't have enough, I got that, but you gotta have a place to live, right? Therefore, if you gotta have a place to live, but you don't qualify to buy a home, why don't I rent you a house? I can rent you a house. And I'll make it appealing. I'll write it out so that it appeals to your nature. Hey, are you out in the rain? You and your family need a home? You can rent here tomorrow. For just this much money down, you can rent this house. We'll combine, we'll do all the repairs. All you have to do is cut the grass. We're waiting for you. Come in right now, right? I'll get to that in 1 second, Jay. I didn't want to concentrate on the fund. I wanted to get back to the real estate part of it for you and I. But I'm going to go back and answer your question in 2 seconds, Jay. So they make it appealing for you to rent a home. But they still possess this property and it's making a profit for them. Every month you pay your bills, that's a profit for them. However, it's still on paper. So let's examine the ways on paper that this is now. So boom, I took my $70 million. I turned it into assets, which are worth more than $70 million, right? So the outlook on, let's say I took that $70 million. Let's say I took $70 million and I built 5,000 houses, right? I'm just throwing that number out there. I built 5,000, 7,000, whatever, how many houses. Those assets now are worth more than the investment that I put down. And if we playing high stakes banking, I'm going to look at it. What are these assets worth for the next 30 years? Oh, your $70 million is going to be worth 1.5 billion, 3 billion, 5 billion over the next 30 years. And if I can show that on paper, then my net worth is 1.5 billion, $7 billion. You think if I could look like I'm worth $7 billion, I'm going to give a fuck that you're not a homeowner? I'm going to keep renting to your black ass. I'm going to rent to your ass forever. And I'm going to make it easier and easier for you to give me your money. Any questions? Are we paying attention? This home ownership shit is difficult. I ain't gonna front. Being a homeowner, being an investor, it comes with its obligations, responsibilities, and challenges. But at the end of the day, I'm trying to enrich me and my family, not somebody else's family. I'm already mad that I gotta pay the bank every month. I'm trying to pay this motherfucking loan off as fast as I can. Get these motherfuckers out of my pocket. You understand what I'm saying? Jay had a question about the funds. Now Jay had a question about the fund. Does the money, that $70 million stay in the fund, or does the investment eventually make private sector profit off the initial investment? Yes. That's the only reason they did, is to make a private sector profit, but hide that shit. They doing every damn thing. Record. They're gonna do everything they can to hide that money, Jay. You understand? Great question. Is the profit from the 5,000 houses tax due to the initial investment onto the opportunity zone? No. It's, first of all, I mean, they had a sliding scale of tax. First, it was reduced. The profits from that investment, Jay, was reduced at first, and then it gets lower and lower the longer you leave it there until it's all the way no tax whatsoever. Jay said, oh, shit. Oh, shit. They had a sliding scale of tax until the tax disappeared year after year. It got lesser and lesser. And I think after 10 years, some shit like that, you ain't paying no tax. It's all profit. It's all yours. I mean, it came out under the Trump administration. How many times you did this? I don't understand the question. But the crazy thing is, I can't speak for all, but some don't want to deal with the work that comes with owning a home. Exactly. That's the beautiful part of that scheme. They realize that you don't want to have to take care of. I don't know if y'all remember when this thing was sitting in the middle of my floor because my wall had water damage right there. So I had to take care of the repair. I had to call the guy and I had to pay for it my motherfucking self and all these other things. And it was, it was a bunch. It was a bunch, but it was mine. I was taking care of my shit, not they shit. And so, I personally am one of the laziest people in America. If the shit ain't laid out for me, yeah, Jay, shit is real. If the shit ain't laid out for me, I get distracted when it comes to business, when it comes to like pieces of paper and the way that the system is set up. I don't fuck with that. If I break out in hives and rashes and shit. I excel right here making music. This is where I excel in doing this with you guys. However, I had to think of my life like my grandfather and them used to think about the farm. If you don't plant the seeds and tend to the crop, you do not eat. As a comedian, I only eat what I kill. The only money that comes in here is the money that I go out there and earn. I don't have a job. I do not have a boss. I do not have a 401k. I do not have, there's nobody providing me health insurance. None of that shit. And I have a family to take care of. So with that said, I get down into these pieces of paper unwillingly, but I do it. And I took that same approach with this home and the investments that I'm making in homes because I see how the system works. And nerds get rich, meaning the people who take care of the paperwork, they make money. You understand what I'm saying? The people who take care of their paperwork make motherfucking money. Point blank, period. You feel what I mean? They make fucking money. So in the big scheme of things, the conversation we're having about real estate yesterday, and one of the reasons I want to act as an advocate for us to own is because I see how the system is fucking rigged. It's rigged as a motherfucker. You feel what I'm saying? We had this Consuela gonna be successful. We had this conversation the other day. That's one way. That's a great way to look at it. Consuela says, hey, I think more families need to stop pushing 18-year-olds out the house and allow their young adults to work and save. There are a lot of things to make sure you build wealth. One way is to make sure you have a life insurance to make sure your kids are footing your bill and can be left with something. I hear you, Consuela, but I think the other way. I think we should be pushing kids out the house at 15 and go buy something and own some shit of your own. Back in the day, you were getting married. By the time you was 23, you had a whole ass family, house, business, or job, and that was what the fuck it was, right? Get busy getting yours. Sink or swim. You can let them kids live in there you can let them kids live in there for forever, and unless they got that sink or swim mentality, all of them ain't gonna make it. Everybody ain't going to make it. My kids getting the fuck out of here at 18. My kids getting the fuck out of here. What Keith say? Yeah, I don't have a Oh, y'all sitting there talking about warranties. What did he say? Excel at recording the verse for Jason, bitch. I got it right here. I don't like it, but I got it. I got it, Jay. I got your ass. I don't like it, but I'm gonna send it to you. And Sherry says, I bought my first house as a single mother on a $20,000 a year salary. You buy what you can afford, then grow from there. Donnie Phil Irish says, I love you, Joe, but come on. The narrative of sink or swim sank years ago. Nah. Here's how I feel. This is how I feel, Donnie. I listen to what we say about each other. One of the things we say about these young people is they don't have no life skills. These motherfuckers feel entitled. These kids think they know everything. We complain about the kids, but we are making the kids. We are the ones who made these lazy motherfuckers. You understand what I'm saying? People say society is different now. There's no difference between then and now. There's no difference between then and now. The things have not changed. Go back and talk to your parents when taxes was 30%. My grandmother and them, back in the day, you used to pay 30% tax. Things haven't changed. People love to say it's a different world. Things haven't changed. Things really have not changed. The same fundamental rules apply. Conditions may have changed, but the fundamental rules apply. The fundamental rules are still exactly the same. If you don't work, you don't eat. Can we get there? If you don't work, you don't eat, right? Can we start there? If you don't work, you do not eat. Laziness will get you nothing, right? You understand what I'm saying? The world, matter of fact, the world is even, if anything, it's gotten easier now. The world has actually gotten easier now. We love that narrative. That narrative feels good to say shit ain't the same no more. Shit was easier back then and it's hard now. But back then we were saying the shit was easier then, it's hard now. And even back then, before that, everybody kept saying, oh, it was easier then. Yeah, home loans used to be 10 and 15%. They was at 2% and we was still complaining. Starting salary for teachers in Washington, D.C. What's the starting salary for teachers in Washington, D.C.? When it used to be $20,000. Now come on. Access to information and resources is much easier now. You can go to college in your house. You can go to college in your house right now, today. You can go to college in your house. So now, I don't think that things have gotten more difficult. Mankind has made things easier over time. It's easier. Things are much, much, much more easier. However, we like to make shit more difficult because it feels good to stay in that comfort zone of being a victim. Nah, get the fuck out of my house at 18. You got to go. Think about it. You can start a business from your phone. You can start a business and run a business from the palm of your hand. Now, sink or swim, yes, but of course I'll give them help. Sink or swim with a little help on the way of your producing. Yes, I'm a single mom, homeowner since 24, and did not purchase above my means. In my house 19 years, take advantage of programs out there. All right. Yes, but prices were still lower, but inflation was right there. Remember, okay, Consuela, let's talk about real. The salary to price ratio wasn't the same. You could survive on a single income. It's hard to do that now. Hold on. My mother was a single mother of 4 kids, right? 4 children. She had 4 whole motherfuckers in her house, right? She got all of us out the house. She had a 40-hour-a-week job while going to get her master's and made sure all 4 of us got the fuck out of the house and went the fuck on to college at 18 and then never came the fuck back in the house. She made something like $30,000 a year. Come on with it. You remember back in the day when a motherfucker who made $50,000 was seen as a rich person? Y'all remember that? I make $50,000 a year. I drive a BMW and I want you to want me. Remember that in school days? Please remember that. Please remember that. Go back in Consuela. Go do the research on that. Go do the research on what prices were versus what you was bringing home. Now, the American system will always keep it close because they don't want your ass. They don't want your ass to. That's the point. I'm making $30K now. It's like $60K. Exactly. So if you went $30K, then it's like $60K now. Exactly. My mother with $30K and 4 kids and a beat up car made sure that all the 4 of us got out the motherfucking house. And then my mother wrote herself a book and changed her life. Changed her whole motherfucking life. And now she lives lavishly up on Massachusetts Avenue. You understand what I'm saying? The point that I'm getting at, Consuela, is we can continue to bring up every point about it was hard back then. We not going back. It was easier back then. We not going back to back then. Okay, if it's hard now, what's the solution then? If the shit is harder now, what do we do then, Consuela? Do we not take advantage of everything that's in front of us? Or do we continue to stay in the mindset like I'll never get anywhere? They are banking. The powers that be are banking, are making a shitload of money off of the second. They hoping that you continue to say, there's no way that I'll make it. And they got, I have a solution for you. Come rent from me. Oh, I have a solution for you. Come conveniently do this and conveniently do that. Think about it. Right now, how often do you eat outside of your home? Remember back in the day, we ain't never go out to dinner. Back in the day, we ain't never go out to dinner. My kids think out to dinner is regular. I remember out to dinner was special. Remember that? Exactly, which is my point, Consuela. If you teach the young how to survive, they need to get out your house once they become adults and go survive. All right, let me ask the ladies, all the ladies in here, how many ladies, I'm going to ask you some real shit, how many ladies really are in a relationship right now with a man who lives at home with his parents? How many of you women want a man who is at home? You meet a guy at 20-something, 25 years old, and he says, I live with my parents still. How many of y'all are giving this motherfucker the time of day? How many? Anybody? How many of y'all women are dating motherfuckers who live at home? Keith, you know somebody that is. I'm talking about you. Stacy, are you? Don't talk about who you know. I'm talking about you. Don't tell me about who you know. We talking about on this broadcast. Don't switch it up. Oh, I know. Not fuck about who you know. You. How many of y'all, Keith, not somebody you know, I'm talking about you. How many of you women are ready to date a motherfucker who says, look, I got a plan. I'm staying at home with my parents. I'm still at home with my parents. How old are you? I'm 26. Okay. Now, if a nigga is at home with his parents and he got a plan and he 26, you want to hear the plan, right? Cool. You at least going to listen to the plan. I'm saving up to buy and boom, 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 boom. Show me the motherfucking money. If this nigga stay at home and he ain't got no motherfucking money, Tiffany Bryant, Y'all don't even like dating niggas with roommates. Y'all don't even like dating niggas with roommates. Let alone stay at home. I'm not judging Destiny, but what I am saying is this. My kids are getting the fuck out of this house and going to own. Me and my wife are right now setting up so that our children actually own homes before they graduate high school. Our plan is to get them their own first homes before they graduate high school. They can go live in them or they can rent the motherfuckers out while they go away and do whatever the fuck. But they will be homeowners before they graduate high school. Right? That's our plan. That's the shit we put money towards. That's the shit we put our mindset towards. That's where we are. That's our thinking. That's how we getting at the shit, right? We tell it to people, and people say to us, shit, our kids, these motherfuckers won't even get out the bed. Shit, my kids won't even blah, 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 blah. Man, my kids won't even fuck around and nah. If your child, I hate to say this part, but if your child won't get the fuck about the bed, a big part of that, yes, children are going to do their own thing, but what did you lay down in the house? My mother laid down in the house that you are leaving here at 18. You are going out to have your life. Let's not forget that part. You are going to have your life. You are going to get the fuck out my house and go have your life. You are not going to lean on the societal norms, and my mother would not allow us to lean on the societal norms. She wouldn't allow me to lean on the fact that I was black and goofy and didn't have a lot of skills. She wouldn't allow me to lean on that shit. You know, now I saw cats whose parents allowed them to do that. And I have to say, and me and my good friend Robert Gray, we have a great friend who cannot get it together to this day. And I can directly trace his problems back to the 9th and 10th grade. Point blank period. To the 9th and 10th grade. Now the narrative about keeping our kids home longer and all that, it feels good to say. It feels real good to say. But I don't know a parent who is super happy. Yeah, Goofy as a motherfucker. Tell him, Rob. I'm telling y'all, Goofy Joseph. Flicked it, what they used to call me. Joey flicked it. That was my mother did, look, as long as my only child is in school or college and working, she can be home, but I'll help her get her own home or apartment. Now, my mother did allow my little sister to come home while she was in law school. And I didn't feel bad. You know, I did the whole, well, she a girl, she should go, huh? My sister was there for about a year, and she was like, I'm getting the fuck up out of here. She was in law school and went and found her apartment. She said, I can't do this shit no more. 18, they got to go. Shanova, get him out of there, Shanova. Shanova, get him out of there. Get him out of there, Shanova. Get him out of there. My mother came and sat me down. She said, on your 18th birthday or after you or upon high school graduation, I need you to be on your way up out of here. Luckily, I was on my way to Morgan State University, so that was my shit. But if I wasn't going to college, after graduation, I had to go find me a job in an apartment. That was it. And each parent ain't the same. You right. I'm not buying my child a house. Oh, no. I'm sorry, Consuela. I'm sorry, Consuela. I ain't buying them a house. They gonna own this motherfucker they self. They gonna pay the mortgage on this bitch they self. That's why we started businesses for them. And the understanding. Oh, no. I'm not buying this child no house. No. That's not what's happening. Now, I might do the down payment and the closing cost. Oh, they got to pay for their own motherfucking house. That's why we started businesses for them. I remember when I worked after school and all weekends as a kid, right? If you're working on your own business after school and all weekends, how much money can you make? Can you save enough money from 15 to 18? So by the time when you 18, you can start paying your own motherfucking mortgage on your first little house or condo. Let's say I find my daughter a condo in Greenbelt, right? Let's say it's Greenbelt. I can use or District Heights or somewhere like that. Fine, it's hers. She owns the motherfucker. She can stay in that bitch. I did the down payment and the closing costs for her, right? She got to pay that motherfucking mortgage because it's like paying rent. That's when she found out, shit, bread costs a lot, daddy. Groceries cost a lot, daddy. Yeah, they certainly motherfucking do. You was around here eating, you was around here eating like shit, wasn't you? When you got to pay for that shit yourself, things change. But you also, when that shit changes, that's when you start hustling up that motherfucking money. And that's what we got to get our kids to. It's time for me to get out of here. I got a long day today. Please get yourself a ShareZo account. Please get yourself a ShareZo account. I got to get up out of here. Right. Best weight loss program ever is living by yourself. When you find out how much shit costs, People don't like hearing this hard talk right here, Rob. Listen, if you're late in life and your plan hasn't manifested by now, it may be time to revisit your goddamn plan. You feel what I'm saying? D-Ray, check out Shares Out. Hey, man. Listen, I'm going to tell y'all like this. And Rob, my man Rob will tell you right there. If a goofy motherfucker like me, I had no skills. I excel in nothing. You feel what I'm saying? Shares Out, D-Ray. It's a comedy platform. I had no skills. And if I can get out here and make it in America, so can your child. So can you. I'm telling you some real shit. But we got to have our minds set to excel and expand and grow. That's how we have to think about it. Them kids leave. No animal on the planet allows the kids to stay once they become adults. Human beings are the only animal on the planet that allows the kids to stay once they are adults. You understand? I got you, Monica. I gotta go. I'm gonna leave y'all. Jason, I got you, my nigga. Let's go.
Don't judge me. I said he don't like me, she don't like me. Everybody seems to want me. Gone, gone, gone. But fuck it, they wrong, wrong, wrong. I said he don't like me and she don't like me. Everybody seems to want me. Gone, gone, gone. But fuck it, man, all y'all wrong. Caught up in the characters of America's fucked up narrative. They say the straight black man in the black community is a terrorist. Straight black man can't never win. Straight black man is gon' need a therapist. Cause the straight black man is the worst that it's ever been. Blaming me for shit I ain't never did. Man, can't a nigga ever live? Can't a nigga ever live? I been out here killing it. Still trying to sell me that I'm ignorant. Demon can't tell I'm different and diligent. Demon can't tell what a nigga been. Born suspect, but a nigga been innocent. Man up on them and they mark you as militant. Mark you as mad and belligerent. Man, fuck y'all images. Fuck they images. He don't like me, she don't like me. Everybody seems to want me. Gone, gone, gone. But fuck it, they wrong, wrong, wrong. Say he don't like me and she don't like me. Everybody seems to want me. Gone, gone, gone. But fuck it, man, all y'all wrong. Who you calling a bitch though? What is you calling her a bitch for? Watch that bitch glow, watch that bitch blow. See, that's the part there that you didn't know. Getting mo. Why you hating on her black girl magic? Her black girl drive, all her black girl savage. So divine that she had to hashtag it. Her life matters and she had to have added. She been out here killing it. Hitting figure, but you acting like she ignorant. Paying her less, still magnificent. Watch her shatter that glass into little bits. Master degrees while you mastering mad. Master a master, holding you back. Master a madness and average. Basic and tragic, trash in her passion. I said he don't like me, she don't like me. Everybody seems to want me. Gone, gone, gone. But fuck it, they wrong, wrong, wrong. I said he don't like me and she don't like me. Everybody seems to want me. Gone, gone, gone. But fuck it, man, all y'all wrong. You done blackball me, redline me, whitewash me, still can't define me. Try and dick me down and then still deny me. Yeah, try and fuck me, sneak up behind me, but boom, I ain't bought up blindly, so boom, you ain't gotta remind me, cause bitch, my mind be like a flower in bloom. Sky in the room, that's the life assignment, and whom, what's and never should try me, then boom, big boom from what's behind me. Full pack of black excellent facts, black excellent acts, black excellent stats. Won't succumb to your bum ass acts, and when your bum ass come ass, I done no jack, and when your young ass come ass, I run that back, cause all my scholars had scars all upon they back. Now let's go. He don't like me, she don't like me, everybody seems to want me. Gone, gone,